Minister Pevkur, welcome to our program again.
It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting.
I would like to begin our discussions with Rammstein meeting today. For the first time, this meeting will be chaired by the United Kingdom. From your perspective, what does this mean? And do you feel that this format can survive without American leadership?
Well, the U.S. administration and the new chief in Pentagon is here. So the Minister Hexet is here, Secretary Hexet is here. So that is a good sign. And it was rather a formality that the Brits are leading this meeting. So let's see how it goes. But I really do hope that also the United States sees the value and the added value from this meeting. And it is important to continue with the Rammstein group.
How do you see the main reasons of this decision for the UK to chair Rammstein, if it is possible to reveal details?
I believe, we will continue in the same way. We try to find new options to help Ukraine militarily. And this is the most important thing, because we need to give the strong hand for Ukrainians to even start thinking about the negotiations. And this is why it is important to understand that, we said already 2 years ago that 0.25% from each country's GDP could be the winning strategy for Ukraine. Today we see that already 10 nations in NATO are doing that, including Estonia. And secondly, of course, it is important that also the big nations like United States, Germany are helping with the military assistance, because even when the small countries are all doing 0.25, it's not enough. So this is why we need everyone on board. And I really do hope that we will also hear some new donations, new contributions.
You just mentioned about negotiations. Do you feel that Ukraine now is in a position of strength to begin negotiations with Russia?
Not yet. We have to be honest. And to put Russians on weaker position, we need to help Ukraine to be in the position where they can really see and gain some advantages. Yes, we see some steps in last weeks, especially in the Kursk region, but also in Donetsk and Lugansk. But it's not enough yet. So this is why we need to give more military power to Ukrainians, and that of course Ukrainians have to shape their own counteroffensive plan in this way that they can really advance, and then Russia will see that the time is not in their favor. So then the main goal should be that we are putting Putin to believe that the time is not on his side, that time is on Ukraine's side, and we are continuing our military help.
So Ukraine should be in a more stronger position on the battlefield in order to negotiate from a position of strength and to achieve any kind of a ceasefire. You think so?
Of course, this has to be our aim. That with military assistance, with giving more power to Ukraine, then they can have this advantage on the military level and on the battlefield. And when you have this advantage on the battlefield, then you are able to push your enemy to that position that they need to come to behind the negotiation table. So this is like extremely different position when you can put your enemy in that position that they need to ask for negotiations, not Ukraine.
Also, from your perspective, if Ukraine begins negotiations with Russia right now, what could happen? Because US President Trump says that the negotiations should happen in the nearest future. The deal should be made.
Well, I believe that also Ukrainian people want to end this war as soon as possible. This is not a question. The question is that, how you enter into these negotiations and how you come out from these negotiations. And in one hand, you can say that, okay, there is a Zelensky's peace plan. Let's take this and let's start negotiations. But on the other hand, we also understand that Putin is not in favor of this, and he's not, pushed to that limit that he has to come. So he can still, maneuver. He can still play with Ukraine and also with the West. So this is why this is extremely important, to show and to make this push to give the Ukrainians stronger hands.
So you're confident that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin is not yet ready to conduct serious negotiations?
Well, he's always ready, and then he said that also that, we are ready. And this is what he's also saying because of the wish to send the signal to the Western countries that, yes, you see, we are ready, but you are not ready. But, this is just a game for him. And of course, he understands that as long the battlefield situation is not in favor of Ukraine, seriously or very, very clearly, then Putin can also put more and more people to the meat grinder, and this is why we have to be very realistic, and we have to be very clear what we want to achieve together with Ukraine during these negotiations.
Does the Trump administration understand that Vladimir Putin is not yet ready for a ceasefire, to meaningful negotiations?
Well, I'm very confident that U.S. intelligence services are giving all the best information what they have for the president team. Now it's up to the president to decide, what he will do with this information, and also for Pentagon to decide what they will do with this information, what is given by the intelligence services. So I have no doubt that they have all the necessary information to make any decision they need to make. But it is more important to have the understanding on the political level that the only way to have the long-lasting peace and just peace is by giving stronger hands to Ukrainians.
Do European allies have a proper plan how to deal with Trump administration regarding Ukraine? Do they plan to persuade Trump's special envoy and Trump's team about the Ukrainian issue, or what is your take on that?
My take is quite simple, that we have to be honest. We have to put all the cards on the table and to say what are the consequences if Ukraine will not have the strong hands. And we all understand that the long-term plan for Putin is not only Ukraine. So he would like to dismantle also NATO, or at least the decision-making process. And he would like to show that he has been always right since Munich speech in 2007. So this is why we have to be very clear that what is on stake at the moment in Ukraine, why we need to help Ukraine to win this war, and what might be the consequences if we are not helping Ukraine enough.
What is your opinion about the reported Kit Kellogg's plan on freezing the front lines, providing Ukraine with support, banning Ukraine from joining NATO in exchange of a ceasefire? Do you feel that this plan can work right now when Ukraine is not yet in a stronger position?
My understanding is very clear that the Ukrainians are the ones who can say that are we ready to negotiate or not. And every discussion about any condition is not very successful without having that approved by Ukrainians. So the Ukrainians have to say that yes, now we are ready. Yes, these are the conditions we are ready to talk about. And it's not for anybody in the West to say that or to push Ukrainians to some kind of undesired peace.
Also, there are lots of discussions about the possibility of peacekeeping forces deploying peacekeepers to Ukraine in case of any ceasefire deal is reached. Is Estonia ready to deploy its own troops in case of a big peacekeeping mission in Ukraine?
We're talking about the peace guarantee or the security guarantees for Ukraine. And that means that, of course, the international community has to help Ukraine to keep that peace if it's achieved. So today it's too early to talk about whether this peace will be achieved or not. Also, even the ceasefire. And of course, there are many preconditions. What are the conditions for the ceasefire? How many Russians will be on the battle line or battle zone or in the front line. What are the conditions to withdraw the forces from the battlefield? There are so many preconditions, and that also defines, how many peacekeeping missions or how many troops there has to be from the allies. So this is why, I believe that Estonia has said from the very beginning that yes, we are ready to help Ukraine with all the means. But also we have to understand that it has to be a joint endeavor, joint mission. And of course, we also understand that when Russia will keep 600,000 men on the battlefield, then the situation is totally different when we talk about a couple of thousands. So this is why there are many, many preconditions. But of course, we've said all the time that we are interested in this, that international allies are helping Ukraine. And of course, we have always said that the ultimate security guarantee for Ukraine is the membership in NATO.
Is a NATO membership still on the table? Because Trump's administration does not support this question. It does not support Ukraine to be a member of NATO.
Of course, it's on table because we've decided all together, collectively, this also in Washington, that there is a irreversible path for Ukraine to be a member of NATO. So this is why, of course, it is still on table, and we are standing in this line, of course.
Also, Trump's administration plans to push European allies to buy weapons from the United States for Ukraine, according to Reuters. What is your take on such plan?
United States industry has to be ready also to produce these weapons. And we all know that also European countries are buying today from the United States many different weapon systems. Also, Estonia is buying new HIMARS systems. We would like to buy more HIMARS missiles. We are buying our main rifle or main weapon for infantry also from the United States, and we are discussing some new options. So all the European countries are having good relations with US industry. And when we talk about helping Ukraine, then the first question is to the US industry capacity, that it cannot be so that we have the contracts with the US industry. And also we would like to have these contracts fulfilled. So this is why, of course, every option is on the table. But let's dig into the details, because sometimes or very often we understand that the devil hides in the details.
Would it take more time if there is such a plan, if European allies are buying weapons from the US and they would be shipped to Ukraine? Would it be more slowly from your perspective?
Well, I don't want to speculate. We have to have clear numbers. We have to see the capacity of the US industry. We have to compare it to the capacity of the European industry. And, first and foremost, we have to understand what will be the plan of giving new weapon systems or giving more weapon systems to Ukraine, also from the American side. So because the first question is that is the US ready to take something from their own stocks additionally? The second question is that if not, how quickly they can produce, and then we have to see that what is the urgent need for Ukrainians. And we still know that the urgent need is for the air defense, for the ammunition, and this is where we have to find all the options or look at all the options around the world, what we can do to provide and to send more ammunition, for instance, to Ukraine.
Do you feel that Trump's administration is ready to provide Ukraine with weaponry in any case, like if European allies buy them or just using Russian frozen assets? Do you feel that there is a readiness in Trump's administration to provide Ukraine with any type of weapons in any kind of format?
It's not for me to speculate, so maybe I will hear more today from Secretary Hexet, but the point is that, again, that we have to have a very clear plan. We had a plan in Washington. We said all together that at least 40 billions of military assistance will be sent to Ukraine in 2024. We did 50 billions. From this 50 billions, 60% came from Europe. So Europe did 2024 more and gave more military assistance to Ukraine as United States. So when United States is saying something that they are ready to do more, very good. Let's discuss it.
And also, I would like to cover the support from Ukraine from the Estonian government. What are your plans in the question of military support for Ukraine for this year of 2025?
We are keeping our promise. We said that 0.25% from our GDP will be allocated to Ukraine. The decision has been made. At the moment, we are in technical process. In coming days, I will hand over to Ukraine our package of military aid, from which they can select what they need the most. And when they are giving me the feedback, what the Ukrainian army needs the most, then we will also start sending this military aid. But in this list, we have a huge variety of different aid. We have military field hospitals, we have weapon systems, we have surveillance, we have boats, we have drones, many other equipment, clothes. So, the list is quite long. So this is why we have an agreement with Ukrainian ministry and Minister Umera that this list will be provided to him in coming days, and then we will wait for the feedback, and then from this list then we will start sending the military aid, which is, as I said, in a worth at least of 0.25% of our GDP. And also we continue with the trainings. We are part of the Interflex. We are doing some special trainings in Estonia. And also we are, of course, leading the IT coalition together with Luxembourg. And also we are allocating money to IT coalition. So the list is quite long. And it is important to understand that even when the peace will be concluded, then our commitment is that also next year we will help Ukrainian army to rebuild itself in the same amount, so 0.25.
Is Europe capable right now of supporting Ukraine without American aid, without the support from the United States?
Europe will continue for sure. I don't see any reasons why not. And we've seen already many new contributions from Sweden, from Denmark, from many other countries. And we know that, as I said also, that around 10 countries already are allocating or are giving 0.25% of their GDP to Ukraine. This is a very good message. So now now 2/3 can do the same, and then this military aid, when we take collectively from the Rammstein group, can pass already 100 billions. So this could be more than we have given this year or last year. Last year, as I said, the amount was about around 50 billion. So when we can double it, for sure Ukraine can benefit from this a lot.
How critical is this year of 2025 for the outcome of the war in Ukraine?
Well, it all depends from this how these rumors, preparations for the peace negotiations and everything are going, and then what the Ukrainians are saying, what the battlefield situation will show us. So, in a way, my understanding is very clear that we will give a lot of military aid to Ukraine in order to give them those strong hands, and then they can decide whether to go into the negotiations or to continue pushing Russians out from Ukraine.
And my last question would be about Russia's malign activity in the Baltic Sea. The undersea cables were damaged, probably by the Russian side. How should NATO react to this, and what is your reaction to such malign activity?
NATO has reacted already. 25th of December, actually, the first actions already started. And there is a NATO mission, Baltic Sentry. And of course, we still have to wait for the investigation results. So the investigation is ongoing, but we all understand that those ships were part of the Shadow Fleet. And of course, the critical infrastructure is something where we also are looking, do we need to change the law or not? So yes, we are waiting for the investigation results. So far, we are keeping the mission on the sea to prevent such incidents.
Thank you, Minister Pevkur, for your time and for your support for Ukraine, and glory to Ukraine.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава. Thank you very much.